name is Liz and welcome to the Tiny Treatery. And today, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be making ice cream! So I do not have an ice cream maker, but I found a recipe online that explained how to make ice cream without an ice cream maker. So I'll show the recipe on screen, both with the original yield and the tiny yield, and meet you in the kitchen. Welcome to the kitchen. So in terms of how many ingredients are in this recipe, it's fairly simple. Milk, heavy cream, sugar, vanilla, and a little bit of kosher salt. The original recipe calls for putting this in an 8 to 10 inch baking pan, but because at Tiny Treatery we always do things tiny, I will be using this 4.5-ish by 2-inch loaf pan that was gifted to me. You know who you are. So first things first, let's get measuring. Okay, so I have the pre-ice cream in the loaf pan, and now what needs to happen is I put it in the freezer for 90 minutes, and then I take it out and I whisk it up some, and then I put it in the freezer for another amount of time and take it out and whisk it, and this process gets repeated until I have something that is of an ice cream consistency. Oh no, my light! Doesn't that make just a world of difference? I guess now I just have to watch TV or something while that happens and report back to you at each stir cycle. But I do want to note that it is 11:57 p.m. and I woke up at 4 p.m. So I just wanted to let you know that that is the state of life that I'm living, where I wake up in the evening and stay up through the night to make ice cream in early January. Catch you in 90 minutes. Hi, I'm back. It has not been 90 minutes, it's been like 11 minutes, but I had an idea. I realized that because this recipe is so simple in terms of its ingredients and the weight measurements actually are pretty close to existing volume measurements that most people have access to, I've realized that even if you do not have a food scale, you can pretty simply do this yourself at home. So I have measured out more ingredients by volume, and I'm gonna make another batch and see how that turns out, so that if you want to try it, you can follow this recipe if you don't have a scale. So 2 tablespoons of milk, 2 tablespoons of heavy cream, a tablespoon of sugar, a fourth or a teeming fourth of a teaspoon of vanilla, and then a little tiny sprinkling of kosher salt, or probably you could just use regular salt. Then stir it all together and pour into a tiny, preferably metal pan. Luckily, I have 4 of these. Gotta get every last drop. And put in the freezer for 90 minutes for the first round. Now, I also recognize not everybody has a tiny little metal baking pan like I do, but looking online, it appears you can make ice cream in something like a Pyrex dish. So if you have a glass dish, you can probably try using that. Did I just film this whole thing with this cabinet open? I'm gonna freaking scream. There's secrets in there that you are not supposed to see. Maybe I'll just cover it. Anyway, I do not really have a glass dish that would be suitable for this experiment. I have something like this, which is way too small, and then I have bigger Pyrex dishes that I think would be too large. So I'm just gonna stick with the metal pan, but I'm just saying, if you don't have a tiny little metal pan, maybe you have a little glass bowl or something you could do with that. And you could always increase the recipe size to be larger if you want more ice cream, or you have a pan that's a little bit bigger. So anyway, those are both preparing now to be ripe for the first stir. So I will return to you in what is now about 70 minutes. Okay, so it's been 90 minutes. So the recipe says to wait 90 minutes, stir it up a little bit, wait 45 minutes, stir it up a little bit, wait 30 minutes, stir it up a little bit, wait 30 minutes, stir it up a little bit, wait 30 minutes, stir it up a little bit. So anyway, basically I've made it through the first period of waiting, so now you can watch me whisk it up. So it occurred to me while I was doing that because it's so much smaller, it might not need to be freezing for as long, because it seemed like it was more frozen than the recipe sample was showing after their 90-minute mark. But I don't know, I'm just gonna follow it and see what happens, and hopefully I'm gonna end up with some ice cream at the end. I don't know. But if you try this at home, I don't know, just follow your heart, do your best, and you're gonna get some ice cream at the end of it. Most likely, probably. Also, note, it does say in the recipe to be sure to scrape the sides of the pan every time you do it, I assume, so you don't get super frozen, pooey ass parts. My God, I just did a cuss. Anyway, so you don't get super frozen stuff around the edges. But I'm probably not gonna be returning to you for speaking in between the remaining whisking cycles, but I'll show you to them in a montage as they happen. All right, see you. So I have completed all of the prescribed stirring cycles. It still seems like it's a little soft, but it's good enough. It's 4 in the morning. I'm sick of it. I'm over it. I'm ready to move on. So now it is time for a surprise bonus recipe. I am going to be making a homemade ice cream cone. So I will show the recipe on screen now and meet you right back here. Hello, welcome back. Let's get measuring. I guess I should mention that the ice cream cone is made of egg whites, sugar, whole milk, vanilla, salt, all-purpose flour, sifted, and melted butter. I'm aware that all this information was on screen when I showed the recipe, but I imagine most people kind of just stare blankly at that until it's over, so it's worth repeating in my opinion. All right, now let's get measuring. So, to make the cone, you mix the egg whites, sugar, milk, vanilla, and salt. And I put the vanilla in with the milk already and the salt in with the sugar already because they were such tiny amounts. I didn't want to waste an extra dish for a 16 teaspoon of vanilla and a 64 teaspoon of salt. I recognize this already is a huge waste of dishes, but I will waste the amount of dishes I want to waste, exactly that, no less, no more. Okay, so, that was a little violent. I'm sorry. Then after that, you mix in the flour and melted butter into that. So after you mix all the ingredients together, you put a pan on low heat and you spread the batter on it, and then you cook it at like medium heat until it's lightly browned, and then you carefully flip it and then cook it a little more until it's brown on that side, and then it's ready. And then you pick it up in your hands and you pinch it at the bottom and roll it into a cone. And as this happens, it hardens very quickly. So I'm very nervous that I'm not going to be able to successfully roll this into a cone, and it's gonna crumble and be a disaster, and I will have to try again, because I will get a homemade ice cream cone. I hope that it happens on the first try, but there are no guarantees, especially when you are as inexperienced as me. But before I do all of that, back by popular demand is an important segment. Okay, mix the egg whites, sugar, salt, vanilla, and milk, and then once they're mixed, add the flour and butter, and then put it in a pan, cook it until it's a little brown, flip it, cook it until it's done, and then pick it up and roll it up. Whew. Let's see how this goes. Oh my god! Okay, it's live and real, baby, because I thought it would be better to have the camera over there for the rolling part, but I'm already noticing some problems. A, too thick. I should have spread it thinner. B, why does it look like a giraffe? And I really do not think this is gonna set when I try to roll it, so I might have to start over. Oh god, there's no way. No way, it's way too thick. Curse me. Why must I make mistakes and not be perfect and flawless at everything on the very first try? This sucks. I don't want to do this again. What if it just worked though? Okay, it's like burning on the other side. Let me get my cooling rack. You can see why I don't do things live with commentary, because I'm panicking and I don't know what I'm doing and it's a disaster. Oh, it's burning bad. Hot, 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 hot! She just picked it up in the video. What am I supposed to do? I have no idea what to do. Oh my god, I'm gonna set the alarm off. I know it. Please do not go off. It's 5 in the morning. Okay, learn this trick that if you put a shower cap over the alarm, it like will prevent it from going off. So I'm literally gonna do that because I cannot have that go off right now. Oh, it smells so burnt. This is so bad. Open the window. Get my fan. This cannot happen. Ow! Ow! What the heck? Ta-da! A nice, thick, terrible ice cream cone. Yum! Probably very loud in here with all the fans, but I could not risk it. Okay, I'm gonna measure out the ingredients again and come back to you and try this again. So I measured everything out again. Time for round 2. This did set, but you know, it's obviously not really suitable to be an ice cream cone. I kind of want to taste it though. Is that cheating if I taste before the official taste test? I don't care. I'm spitting it out. Shouldn't have done that. I got too much information. So the taste test is gonna be a little spoiled now, but I spit it out before I experienced it too much. Okay, round 2. Pretty sure that it's too thick again, but officially over it. I don't care. I'm just gonna roll it up, do my best, and that will be the end of the ice cream saga for now. Maybe in the future I will try this again when I'm more talented, but not today. Had enough. It's been 5 hours. Sick of it. Smells weird. Oh my god. It's hardening, but it's too hot to touch. What do I do? This is cursed. Hot, 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 hot. What do I do? That's so gross. Imagine if that's what happened in real ice cream shops. Hot, 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 hot. Okay. This is as good as it's gonna get, I think. Hot, 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 hot. Definitely too thick, but it's better than the last one, and that's really all I can ask for. And it's staying in place. Okay, I'm gonna clean all this up and be back in a minute. Time to prepare the ice cream cone. Everybody, we ended up with an ice cream cone. There were points along the journey where I wasn't sure that it was going to happen, but here we are. It's been completed, and even though the cone is a little funky, I am very proud of it. I think it's very cute. And now it's time for the taste test. Oh my god, why is ice cream so cold? Review, tastes like ice cream. It's definitely a little more icy, I guess, than it is creamy, but maybe if I had done more stirring cycles, or obviously if I had a churning machine, it would turn out creamier. But for how simple and easy it was to make, it's very good. Let's try the cone. Okay, that was mostly chocolate. I'm trying again. Still too much chocolate. Another attempt. All right, let's just do it. I'm surprised at how much it does taste like an ice cream cone that you would get at an ice cream parlor. But obviously, mine is a little thick and a little softer in a way than it should be because of the fact that it is too thick. But it still tastes very good, and I'm still pleased. So also, there was my second experiment batch that I made with measurements that most people could do at home. So let's see how that tastes. Yeah, it's good. It's a little meltier and softer, and I don't know if just because it's been sitting out for a minute, or if I didn't let it freeze long enough, or if the measurements aren't perfect, but you can experiment, try it yourself, but also note that this is the amount that it is. It is literally like one scoop, just this much. So if you want more, you might want to double my instructions. It was a little rough there at one point, but we made it, and I'm extremely satisfied with the result. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more baking adventures.